Well, good morning everyone. So Matt's here with the Allen, and we're going to drill some chicory. So it's going on at 12 kilos to the hectare. That's what I usually do. What's the slug bait going on at? 4 kilos.
4 kgs, yeah.
4 kilos, which is that dispenser right up there. And we're also putting fert down with it too. 120 kilos.
Yep,
120, which I usually don't. Usually put fert on afterwards, but this year I thought just whack it on and then saves us having to do a job. It is a little bit more expensive to run it through the drill, but it'd just be so much easier. And we're away. So this paddock's probably been sprayed out for about 3 weeks. So it's got a real brown tinge to it because it's really dead. But it's going to come up pretty well. So there are little weeds starting to come up now, which probably give it a bit of a weed spray at some point. But there's that slug bait right there. Matt's actually been down the line or down the western bays because finches do quite a bit of work down there. He's been down there drilling, so he only got back a couple of days ago. I really would have liked to got this chicory in probably like 2 weeks ago, but it was just too wet. We couldn't, like, we got it sprayed out and stuff. It was just too wet to plant. And the next paddock, what we're going to do, I've decided that I'm just going to drill everything today. What we usually do is, like, we'll probably drill this, then give it 12 days, because there's probably 12 days worth of breaks in here, and then we would come back in another sort of next, well, near 2 weeks I guess, and drill the other one. But this year I just thought we're just going to do the whole lot and then everything is just done. But it is really wet down the bottom there, so hopefully it's alright and it's dried out enough in this weather. It has been pretty hot over the last couple of days, so hopefully it gets round alright.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head.
Just come for a bit of a look, but I was in 2-wheel drive and almost got stuck. It was alright in 4, but you can see how wet it is. So hopefully you can just get everything you can. Might have to take a bit of a wide berth around here and sort of leave this area. As you can see, there's still water lying here in the paddock. Probably really need to bring the tractor down and just dig a bit of a ditch here to let this water out. Probably does need an overflowing at some point. There was probably actually an old clay pipe or tiles in here, but it would be blocked up. So yeah, probably not a bad place for a bit of an overflow at some point. Just try to get this bottom bit drained out. Well, he's pretty much finished in here. I think he's got a few strips over there which won't take him long. But while I'm over here, I thought we'd come and dig up a kernel in this maize and see if it's growing, because it's been about 5 or 6 days since planting. This looks like a good spot, so we'll dig down. I always have trouble finding them. Where are they? They're pretty deep, so that must be the lime. There's one right there. So, oh, must have got its, oh, it started. So it started putting its roots down. We'll dig that one up, have a little look. Oh, look at that. Beauty. Put that back in there. That's looking real good. It should be out of the ground in maybe less than a week. It'd actually be quite nice to get a little bit of rain on here, and there's nothing really forecast for about another week. So it's going good though. There's heaps of moisture in the soil, but it looks like Matt's finished this paddock, so I'll go and catch up with him and see how he goes in this next one. Yeah, I think it's probably dry enough there. There was water coming out of those wheel tracks, so it's just down here. Yeah, she's pretty moist. It's not going too badly. That stuff there looks pretty wet, but it wasn't too bad to get over. Unlike, it is pretty wet through here, but we did put an overflow a couple of years ago, so all that stuff sort of built up and pretty greasy. But I haven't done that side of that drain there. I'm going to come back and do it another day when it's dried out a little bit more. It's pretty cool. So if you switch, that's the wing float there, which it is on at the moment. So I guess if you're doing a big flat paddock, you turn it off. No?
Leave it on.
Leave it on. Oh, always leave it on. There's camera for the seed bins. There's a little bit of seed left. So far, it's a bit hard to see with the glare, but it says drilled 3.5 hectares and there's 8 kilos of seed left, and then there's a track map there which just shows you where the drill's been. So the blue lines would be double pass and the orange ones would be triple pass, and grey is what you would want, well, single pass I guess, where you've drilled. All done. Just getting a bit of seed that's left over. Do you want me to hold that? A couple of kilos in there. All done. He's just off to drill some turnips now, so you don't really see too many people still using them. It is pretty old school, although you either sort of love them or you hate them, I guess, but I've never done turnips. But we sort of come to a bit of a conclusion that we're going to drill that wet bit down there in about a week to 10 days, let it dry out some more, and then we might give these like real wet spots, which you can sort of see in the hill there, might even go over that too. Hopefully it might be up in 10 days and we'll be able to see some spots if it did come up through those areas or not. But it is good to have that done. Everything is in the ground now, so it's got a chance to germinate, get growing, while we're still getting a little bit of rain at the moment, although we're probably due for some. And now fast forward a day, and Michael's here from SprayLink. He's gonna spray out all the maize paddocks with Pre-emergent. It's a pretty big spray, that one. Jeepers. It's just saying it's a 16 metre boom, which is big enough for over here, otherwise it gets a little bit undulating. I think it's a 16. And that's a leaf spray. He's bought a new one, but he's just borrowing that at the moment. Pretty cool setup though. Probably one pass around here and he'd be done.
Just like a seed in a garden, you will grow to be tall, staring out over miles of land without it, but wanting to build up walls. Lift me up in your branches, we can watch the sunrise. Just a couple of bruised up souls that believe that it was worth one more try. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head.
Come big fella, out of here. Just had these fellas in here getting a bit of a feed. There's heaps of grass for them, so somewhere to put them, but they can go out of here now. they're about a week or week and a half off going with the cows. And then it makes it a little bit easier because they can go around the shed, but for now, I'm going to find them somewhere new now. They can just wait in the race there till I find somewhere to put them, but got to be a little bit careful at the moment because these 3 bulls here are picking up on that little one there. I think it's mainly this bull. They're actually over in the race there the other day, and I went over to check up on them, and one of them had been, well, that little fella had actually been pushed over the fence into the neighbours, which was not good. Broke a post, snapped the top wire. Calvin actually fixed it, so I definitely owe him a box of beer for that. Would be seriously cool to have a sprayer like that on the farm. Bit of an overkill, but man, you get a lot done easily. I should say too though, that in the long grass there, the soil splash isn't quite so bad. There's a big clump of long grass because the sort of edge is like a barrier, so it hits that and it sort of comes back down. But then you get areas like this where it's a little bit lower and it pushes it over. But if you look underneath, it's sort of killing that grass already. Whereas that strip till bar doesn't do quite as good of a job as the planter. You can sort of see here that it's just throwing more stuff over both sides. And they have found that in the last couple of years that when they run the strip till bar through and then sprayed it after planting, a lot of the grass did come back. So that's why we sprayed out these strip till planted paddocks before planting, just to make it so much easier and to do a better job too, I guess. So that's that. Everything is pretty much done. All the maize is in, all the chicory's in. The weed spraying or the pre-emerge is done on the maize. Those paddocks should start dying off soon. Would be quite nice to spray the chicory this year for like weeds once it starts germinating. We usually don't do it, and it does tend to be quite weedy at the start. So that's something I would like to do or improve on anyway. But I was just watching the weather forecast, and it looks like we are going to get a bit of rain this weekend. Touch wood, we actually need it. It's so crazy, isn't it? We go from one extreme being far too wet, needing a bit of sunshine, to the other, and everything's now real dry, and we're looking for a bit of rain. But it should certainly help and get things moving along so that maize isn't too far away from popping up, probably about another week. That chicory should start germinating if we get a bit of moisture on it, which would be awesome, and get cranking because we need it to grow before it gets real dry this summer. Although it might be a wet summer, hopefully, and we get a good maize yield. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and apart from that, see you next time.